Are we okay? I'm going to demonstrate Sterile Technique. And if you are going to be working with sterile stuff, you'll probably want to wear a lab coat, or at least just make sure you wash your hands. You'll want to wear a mask, and I might have each of you put on a mask just so that we are all not breathing on it. Normally you would probably be back here along the wall or somewhere away from others, but I'm going to be out here, so why don't we all put on a mask just so that we don't breathe on our bacteria. The second thing you want to do when you're doing Sterile Technique is you want to wipe down your whole area wherever you're working. You want this area nice and sterile. Okay. We're sterilizing everything. Any bacteria that comes out of your mouth, comes off of you, comes from the air around you, could infect your plate and then grow, and that's not a good thing. The next thing you want to do, of course, is put on gloves. You need gloves for Sterile Technique. That will help you minimize. And once you put on your gloves, kind of think of your gloves as sterile. So don't put on your gloves and then go use the bathroom or start wiping your face and your hair. Consider your gloves pretty sterile. And then this will be your friend throughout the whole process. Ethanol spray. So you can just kind of kill all the things on your gloves or any equipment that you're using. Okay? So most of you are going to be using agar. If you are using, if you are feeding your bacteria different stuff, so if you're like, okay, I'm gonna feed my bacteria glucose versus sucrose or something like that, you'll want plain agar. If you're going to be just changing like the temperature or changing something else, your bacteria needs nutrient agar. So I'm using nutrient agar today because I'm going to try and get these bacteria to be happy, and I'm not feeding or adding anything else to my agar. You can see it's 5 grams for every 200 mils or 6.5 grams for every 250 mils. That's the recipe. So I'm going to do 250 mils and I'm going to do 6.5 grams. So how do I do 6.5 grams? Of course, I put a weigh boat and a scupula on my materials list, right? So I go to the balance and I weigh out the amount of agar I need. I put the thing on, I zero it, and then I get 6.5 grams of agar. Don't do as I do, do as I'm just trying to be fast here. Do it from the side and do it nicely, and maybe don't even use this really nice balance, but okay. So I got 6.5 grams of agar. I'm going to pour that into my flask. This flask is not sterile. This flask is just a flask from the lab, but once I do microwave it, it is going to be sterile, so I'm going to put this plug so no bacteria falls in from the air. So I'm going to put my agar in here, and then I'm going to add 250 mils of water. How do I know 250 mils of water? I do not use this. This is not accurate. It's accurate to the nearest, I don't know, a lot. I'm gonna use a graduated cylinder. Hopefully you have a graduated cylinder on your materials list. I'm gonna go get 250 mils of water real quick. Okay, 250 milliliters of water, and I'm going to add it to my flask. And then if I had a magnetic stir bar, I could put it in and put it on and stir it as I heat it, but I'm just going to swirl it to mix. You want to mix it nice and evenly. And now you can see that it's kind of dark yellow and cloudy. You want to heat it until it turns clear. And you also want to heat it, you don't want it to boil over. So I'm going to place this in the microwave. It heats fast. You can use a hot plate if there's a line for the microwave, or if you want to use a hot plate. But this is nice and quick. So I'm going to put this on here. I'm going to place it in the microwave. And of course, boiling it, let's put it for, I don't know, a minute. Okay. I'm going gonna put it for a minute. Boiling it, of course, will kill the bacteria inside. So again, we're being nice and sterile. While I'm waiting for that, I might get my Petri dishes ready. But you, as a scientist, should be kind of watching this because agar boils, and when it boils fast and vigorous, and it will, it's like an explosion. So you just want to kind of keep an eye on it. Mine is not boiling yet, so that's a good thing. Good, we're good. We have 28 seconds still. And if it doesn't boil by the end of my minute, then I will put it for another minute. I forgot how long I need to put these for. Let me show you what's going on with it. So you can see it's starting to bubble a little, but it's still not clear. It's still nice and cloudy. So, I'll do another minute. Now, your Petri dishes are sterile. They are sterile on the inside. You do not want to open them ever. Don't open them. So if you open them, bacteria can get inside them. So I would open this. You can open this, that's fine, but don't open the Petri dishes, the bottom from the top. I'm gonna take out 2, and I still wanna keep an eye on that. It's not boiling yet. Okay, I'm gonna take out 2. Make sure that you know where you're taking them out from. I wouldn't wanna take out this bottom part without the top. This is still considered sterile because it's never been opened. Okay? Why aren't you boiling? Let me see if it's on high. Okay. While I wait for this, because it's almost there. It's turning clear a little bit. You can see it's starting to turn clear. I'm gonna do it one more time. Okay, so dealing with the Petri dishes. Again, this is very sterile. You never, I'm gonna waste the Petri dish. I'm gonna show you what not to do. Don't do this. Hey guys, I'm just talking to you, dropping bacteria all over into this Petri dish. This is gonna be awful. It's contaminated, it is gone. What you wanna do, I bursted. You want to slowly open like this and do anything you need to do and then close it back right away, okay? So that nothing's falling inside. I let my agar boil over, so this is a great what not to do because then you have to spend all day cleaning out the microwave, but you won't, don't worry. I'm gonna take this. The good thing is my agar is ready. It is nice and clear. It has boiled and it is sterile and I have the top on, so it is good to go. Okay? I will clean the microwave after this demonstration. The next thing you need to do, and I would probably make sure that this is nice and mixed as much as possible, is you need to let it cool a little bit. And you really want it to be a nice even consistency. So the fact that I have some chunks on the bottom there, I'm not sure. I might want to redo this. But you'll let it cool until it's cool to the touch. And then you will pour your plates. Your plates each get about 20 mils. I'm just gonna show you. I'm gonna pour this one hot, but you would let this cool. So when I take this off, that means bacteria can fall into there. So I'm just gonna be quick. Take that off, open this slightly. Hang on, you won't do this while it's hot. Open this very slightly. Pour my agar. And then I would close it, okay? This is a little too hot. And then I would let that one go off to the side. Again, it is sterile. Everything is sterile. I have not breathed on it. I have not let bacteria fall in. And then when I'm ready to deal with my bacteria, I would take my bacteria out. And again, this is sterile, very sterile. And I will, once these have cooled in a very sterile area, I will take an inoculating loop and I will gently take the very top off of this layer. So in this tube is a bunch of agar. So this tube is filled with agar, just like that. And it has a nice thin layer of bacteria on it. So I will take my inoculating loop and then I will let some bacteria grow on this plate. And I'll probably grow up about 5 plates just so I have enough bacteria. And then when I'm ready to actually plate and do my experiment, I will take the plates with my experimental stuff and I will rinse all the bacteria into a small amount of liquid. I will take a micro pipette, I will mix it thoroughly, and I will pipette the bacteria onto the agar so that I put like the same amount, 20 microliters on each thing. And once I've done that, I will spread it with this. This is called a spreader. So I will either spray it or put it in the Bunsen burner so that it's sterile. If I sprayed it, I want to let it dry and evaporate because this is to kill bacteria. Don't want to kill my bacteria. So I would, maybe make sure that the ethanol's off of this now. And then I would put my bacteria on, maybe like 10 microliters, and then I would open this up and I would spread it evenly. And then I will close it right away. Okay? Any questions? So you want to be very sterile at all times. If you can, it's nice to have a Bunsen burner burning because that kills all the bacteria in the air around you. So I modeled just making the agar and pouring it. Once this cools, the inoculating loop would be used to swipe the plates. But when you use an inoculating loop and swipe them to grow it up, you don't know exactly how much you have on each. So ideally you want to then take all of that, put it into a little bit of sterile liquid, pipette up and down, mix it really well, and then put about 20 microliters on each plate so that you can evenly distribute it. Did I miss anything? Any questions?
I mean, just because I'm adding the bacteria to the soil, so how would I do that then?
If you're adding the bacteria to the soil, we'll probably do this same technique to grow it up, and then we will take the micropipettes and we'll add it to the soil. Or we could take your bacteria and put it with water and then water the soil with bacteria mixed water. Mm-hmm. Anyone else doing anything other than that or interesting? Fungus and yeast are pretty much the same. You just want to keep them sterile. Yeast have their own agar. It's called YED agar. Fungi, I'll look up what they live on. But if you're bacteria, you're either the nutrient agar or the plain agar.